Well, hello everybody. I'm back out here today at the near the Swallow Hollow Nature Walk in Orleans County, New York. And a couple of weeks ago, I was out here doing just some landscape compositions, and I came across just a scene. It's nothing really earth-shattering, but I decided that it may make for a very kind of a nice composition. So I'm going to get set up here, and I'll kind of show you what I'm looking at. And this is just alongside the road, and normally when I'm doing these, I take walks, and photo hunt. But this week, with me just driving through and noticing this, I thought that possibly this could make for a very nice landscape photo. So we'll get on it and show you my setup. So behind me here, I have just a shallow pond that you can see in the background there. That has a couple of trees, and there's still some brown leaves on the tree. So I'm kind of hoping that I can create a composition with this. It's fairly early in the morning. My sun is it's kind of over here, so there's some side lighting that'll be going on. I'm going to shut this off. I have another car coming, so I'll pick up the scene here in a second. You can see it's kind of surreal. So here's my scene. I have a little foreground. These marsh grasses are growing up here, and I have a pool, that's partially frozen, has some ice on it. See some glare coming off of it, but it's nice and steady out here today. There's not a lot of wind, and that tree in the background is more or less kind of reflecting in the water, along with the, let's call it a hedgerow that comes down this side that is kind of offering a little shadow and contrast in the photo. So we'll take a few photos and let's see what we can come up with today. So to make this photo work, what I essentially have to do is I have to look at the sky and immediately be aware that the sky is much brighter than the actual scene. So I'm going to have to do some photo blending here. So I've composed 3 shots, one to expose for the sky, one to expose for the landscape itself, and another that's kind of mid-range in between the two. And with any kind of luck, I'll blend them in and create a composition out of that. The other thing I noted too with that scene is I have to use a circle polarizer, because if you noted in the water, the ice itself, there's a lot of glare there, and I'm going to have to look at that and do some compensation for that. So hopefully we will come up with a couple of fairly decent landscape photographs today. So here's something that I talked about last week, and I was a little frustrated with on last week's shoot, and that was the fact that my tripod, I consistently have a lot of just general problems with it. Wobbly, not solid like I would like it to be. So I went out and decided that it would be time for me to upgrade and get myself a new tripod. So I did, and it is carbon fiber. And something that I was going to do was basically give a review of this tripod, because oftentimes is the case, we as photographers, gear junkies, I think is a nice way to put it, we have a tendency to want to always go out and get the latest and greatest. And something that I'm going to point out is more or less the fact that when you go and buy yourself a Gitzo or a Manfrotto tripod, you're paying a premium dollar for those. And I often question what you're actually paying for with the quality of those type of tripods. So without any further ado, I'm going to give you my review of the Artcise Carbon Fiber Tripod. This is the unit that I bought, and it's basically a 4-section, 10-layered, dust-resistant carbon fiber tripod. And a couple of the things that stood out to me right away was this handy dandy little holder for a cell phone, which I have my Osmo mounted to that here a few minutes ago, and it is nice and steady. It is sturdy. It's very very useful from what I've found so far. And we have this very nice ball head that is very flexible, very adjustable, and very rigid. Once you lock it down, it's locked down very well. And you can kind of see here that my camera, and with a lens, it is quite beefy, weighs a lot. This thing will hold 44 pounds, has very easy to use leg locks, okay, and you can adjust it in multiple configurations. Can go to the ground very low. Has this nice bag here that mounts, that you can use to hold your gear. Another nice feature that I like is how quickly and easy this thing can adjust up and lock down. You have a couple of levels inside the actual head here, so you can get your camera all set prior. But in addition to the bag here, which you could technically put a lens in. I have it rigged up here where it's kind of high because I really didn't need it down. But if you look down here in the bottom, there is a hook that is here as well, where you could actually hang your camera bag or whatever on that, and that works very well too. The leg locks and stuff are pretty standard. I mean, there's always a debate whether or not you have actual clamp locks or these twist type, but I personally like the twist on it. I think that's pretty nice. But what's cool is this tripod was reasonably priced for what it does. And I mean, it is stiff, it is rigid. It came with a center column that you can take the ball head off and put a center column on it if you actually needed to get more height out of it. So all in all, it's living up to my expectations. And what I can tell you is that from the standpoint of cost, it was not anywhere near what a lot of the bigger name tripods go for. So in my mind, this was kind of a win-win. And a couple other features is it can, one of the legs here actually screw out from the center column. I believe it's this one right here that comes out. No, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. It's the one over here on the side. So, kind of tough filming today because, being here on the side of the road, and you'd think being out here in the middle of nowhere, there wouldn't be a lot of traffic, but there's plenty of traffic today, bastards. So, with this here, you have this very durable foam, grip on here that, once you take this off, you can hook it up as a monopod, and that works very well as well. So I'm going to say that, from my perspective that this Artcise tripod is a winner. Now, a lot of people will say, well, where'd you get it? I did buy it off Amazon, and yes, it is manufactured in China. And what I'm going to tell you is a lot of people don't realize this, but I want you to do the research on other tripod manufacturers and where they're made. So having this in China is no different than Vanguard or Manfrotto or any other maker. So I found another scene that really kind of appeals to me, and it's a little more representative of what I was actually looking at to photograph this morning. So I'm going to show you what I'm actually looking at here so you have a good idea of my composition. So here's my scene. Once again, a very nice picturesque landscape photo, or at least in my opinion. But you can kind of see here we have, a very cool background here, with, it looks like, like a dead pine, but it's got some orange, highlights to it, which would add to the fall ambience of the image. And you can see that there are some reflections in the pool of water. So we're gonna give this thing its due respect and take a few photos, and you can tell me what you think.